Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel again. I am just popping in for a brief message. I have had a few lazy days here, just working on my full-time job and not really feeling like putting my face on YouTube. So I've also been going through a lot of ups and downs, sort of energetically, emotionally, all kind of stuff that is just clearing out of my energy field. And I felt like I wanted to see if there was a message that wanted to come through for the collective, because I felt like there are a lot of collective ups and downs right now, and there's a reason for that. So the channel message that I have for you today, I did not write down, but I'm just going to sort of replay it for you, is that at this time, we are confronting a lot of external energies and also internal energies, essentially the internal and the external reflecting each other, that are existing as particles in some way in our energy fields. And it's time for those things to sort of be cleared away, because it's not in alignment with who you truly are. It's not in alignment with the direction that the collective is moving. It's not in alignment with the direction that the planet, the solar system, and the universe are moving. So there is a much wider scope of what's happening to everyone right now. And I do feel like in some ways it has ramped up from where it was, because at all times, things are happening on a cosmic scale, but they're just really showing me this kind of explosive expansion of a lot of the positive, supportive, expansive energies. And when that happens, that which is being shaken up within us breaks loose. And from there, it's as if you had, I don't know, they're kind of showing me like a dirty kitchen drain, and all of like the debris and crap starts to break loose from the sides, and that's got to be flushed out somehow. It's got to be strained out, cleared out, flushed out, whatever. And so that's kind of what's happening. And it's got a lot of people feeling like they are defending themselves, or maybe old issues that they have buried and have essentially defended themselves against in the past, to kind of insulate themselves from the pain that some of these issues are causing. They're all kind of cropping up and bubbling up now. The purpose is a greater healing. The purpose is a flushing out or a clearing or a cleansing, okay? And it is on a grand cosmic scale. This is not just you. It's not just even the Earth or even the solar system. This is on a grand cosmic scale. And I think that in some ways you're receiving the manifestation. They're saying you're receiving the manifestation of your desires, of your prayers, even of your requests of the universe. It doesn't feel like that right now, because what you're getting, what you're sort of being dished at the moment, is a lot of truth that we have hidden and we have protected ourselves from, or we have buried, or maybe we have not seen it from a healthy perspective or frame. They're literally saying that these are things that maybe, how Scarlett O'Hara always says I'm thinking the book, because I read the book when I was a kid, but I think she says in the movie also, I'll think about it tomorrow when I can handle it. It's almost like now we're thinking about it today because we can handle it. You know what I mean? So this is something that you have manifested and actually waited for. And while it may feel like a process of like, I'm almost getting an image of surfing, where you are riding certain waves and then, maybe you fall off your board and you go under for a second and you have to get back up on the board and then you ride the waves on in. It's kind of like that process. And we're facing some very human issues of doubt, of insecurity, of conflict, of competition, of sort of one that's come up for me really recently is like an inferiority complex. And these are things that are deeply linked into our childhoods, into our past lives, or in other traumas throughout our lives. And that every level of our being has reflected this in some way, but now is really the time of the sort of the truth bubbling to the surface, right? We've been dealing with a lot of truth coming up throughout the fall at the very least. I mean, most of this year, right? But this feels to me like very large chunks of debris breaking free. And that it's important right now to not to push it aside. Unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, we are all very busy people for the most part. We have other things we have to do. And we have to move through this process of kind of becoming, or this process of growing, this process of alignment, this process of ascension, while we're doing everything else. But it is perfectly arranged in that way. Just like I'm always saying, it is all perfectly orchestrated. Every one of those little pieces of your life that seem unrelated, that don't seem spiritual, every one of them has messages for you. And if you are pushing them away, just trying to get through, let's say, you might be missing valuable information. Now, if you fear that you have done that, it's okay. The lesson's going to come back around until you're able to really integrate it, okay? Or lesson, or whatever you want to call it. You know me in that word. So this is a difficult thing to accept, and I am slightly in resistance to my own message right now, but all of this is a huge ass gift. This is removing like basically thorns in your side that have been there for lifetimes. And the end result is really a change of direction, a complete change in direction. Something is changing. And I've been saying this for several weeks and several readings now, sort of feeling this coming in the future. I'm feeling like some point in December, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think it's different for everyone, but there is this rainbow sort of feeling, this feeling of seeing the light, this feeling of seeing or feeling the integration that is actually happening here. There is an integration of the feeling of rejection, the feeling of being orphaned, the feeling of not belonging. And that somehow we're just fated to feel that way. Depression, anxiety, all of those things that just really plague the existence of the sensitive and really everyone else, because it would be a fallacy to think that we are not all one and we are not all the same and on some level experiencing the same energies, whether we recognize them all the time, whether we're burying them, or whether we're sort of projecting them or not. We are all experiencing these things. You are moving through that and out of it. I can't say for sure how long that takes. If this is your introduction to the next entire year, I don't feel like this is a short process. I do feel like this is going to continue for a while, but that the general message here is that it is because that higher vibrational existence, that more aligned existence without the low dips into the low lows, without the falling off the surfboard, is coming in. The more challenging half of the same coin is that it might feel like a tsunami for a little bit. So, I don't say that to scare anyone. You are probably already in that energy a little bit, but it is for your absolute clearing, cleaning, utter sort of transforming and raising up into your ascended being, your ascended self. Okay? It is getting better. Crossing the troubled waters. I just reached over to pull a card and I got the Six of Swords here. So just know it is getting better. And that this is a really important part of your healing process. Okay? I will come back with my regular reading as soon as I can. As soon as I feel up to it. I actually have an extremely stressful month and a half or so between end of year stuff for my full-time nonprofit job and some other extremely stressful stuff coming up. So we'll see how I handle all that and if I come on with some more videos. But I appreciate you all and thank you for sharing my messages. Thank you for commenting. And I look forward to hearing if this resonated with you or if I am one lonely freak out here going through this stuff on my own. I seriously doubt that, though. As a final message from the records, always know you're exactly where you need to be. This is what they tell me every day. Always know you're exactly where you need to be. Okay, guys. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.